As long as I can remember, I've valued handmade and sentimental objects. Old, imperfect things appeal to me, especially as life becomes increasingly automated and removed from human hands. My great grandpa Schwab was born in Germany. His father was a woodworker and a Prussian soldier. They came to Wyoming and set up a sawmill there. My grandpa, my dad, and I, all of us have learned to be craftspersons. This Schwab quality adds to my belief that I can make just about anything, that eventually my efforts in creation will pay off. Completing a bachelor's in fine arts nourished that side of me. My professors and peers helped me realize that if I made a plan and put in the work to learn, fail, and repeat, I could puzzle through basically any endeavor. What a lifesaver this education was and is to me. It is a sanctuary at a time when many safe, familiar, and routine aspects of my life have crumbled. Since last March, I have found solace in the midst of isolation, even in our tiny apartment. I'm all for convenience and limited expense, but when my reality became one in which all I had was time and hardly any other resources or calls for energy, convenience hardly mattered. In this skeleton of my previous reality, I treasured the inconvenient tasks available to me. Trying new recipes, reteaching myself to crochet and to sew, making small pinchy pots on my couch, writing, reading, and walking the same path on repeat. I treasured the inconvenient objects, the handwritten notes, hand-sculpted vessels, paintings, the heirlooms and antiques protected by people who shaped my life and then the world long before my life. Objects that were protected and carried, some from across the world, some for almost 200 years. I grappled with my need to be productive, which I realized was a perfectionist compulsion born of a fast-paced modern capitalist world. Once I've been feeding constantly for 23 years. But isn't being happy the most productive pursuit any of us can take? I realized that surviving a global pandemic, political turmoil, horrific news on a 24/7 cycle, all of that wasn't a waste of time, even if my many goals, mostly to transform overnight, were only consistent in their disappearance, and I only made 3 pots during those 5 months. During this time, my sense of self evolved, realizing that getting things done isn't my identity source, that I am whole regardless of circumstance. I'm increasingly drawn to spending time enjoying time rather than spending time trying to save time. And I wanted to share a piece of that. Welcome to my sanctuary. This show started as a replacement for my senior show, which was canceled in March of 2020. But quickly I realized it was more about why I'm an artist and more about my life than being filled with my art. I made maybe 2 things of everything I have displayed in this show. It's a love letter from me to my angels. And since the show ended in February, I've had 2 more loved ones gain their angel wings. My Grandma Betty and my Uncle Tracy passed away within 2 weeks of each other. I would be nothing without those who've come before me. I found this letter from my grandpa that was so impactful to me. Dearest MJ, I've been home working in the lovely study of our beautiful new home. I know how hard you've been working since we moved to Logan. I'm constantly amazed at your ever-expanding talent and ability. The concert at Mountain Crest was a bit sobering for me in that I've never conducted a high school orchestra that was that good, with the possible exception of Ogden High School. Your first year at a high school has produced musical achievement beyond most of the rest of us. I'm saddened when you express some insecurity of anxiety. I know how real those feelings are. Please sit down for a few minutes and look around you. Think of our lives and the exciting things we've done together. We've faced challenges many times and come out on top. The great equalizer has been our love and support for each other. I love you more now, after 30 years, than ever before. You'll be equal to any task that's before you. Chin up. Love, SK. I keep thinking about what he has said. The great equalizer has been our love and support for each other. I've noticed that more than ever through 2020 and into 2021, how much we really need each other, how strong we are together, how helpful it is to have someone relate to your experience. I can't wait. I can't wait for the world reopening, for a chance to be together again. And when you see me, give me a big hug and tell me, what has your sanctuary been?